Hi, my name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. It's review day! Today I'm reviewing the CitiZ by Nespresso, and it also comes with the Aero Frother. And I'm going to talk about what you might like about it, the problems that you might run into, and generally how you can enjoy it. CitiZ by Nespresso. So if you like going out to your local coffee shop or maybe a Starbucks and like, man, I love my cappuccinos, my lattes, my espressos, but man, I hate driving out every morning. Well, Nespresso machine, and you might have seen the commercials, they're actually pretty good, and this machine does an excellent job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom around here, show you the basic operations and a couple of the gotchas of what you might run into in some of the issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera actually off and then just kind of pan around this machine to give you a better idea and a good closer look here. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this off, so we're going a little bit live. Alrighty. So we're going to film my hand there for a moment. So as you can see, this machine's got quite a bit to it. It's got the actual espresso machine here. It's got the cord where I'm showing it. We're going to do some little milk frothing, and this is called the Aero Frother. Now this thing here, this is the I guess extended edition. You can just get it with the machine, but you don't have the super frother. One of the things about this is it comes with two different types of frothing devices, and you can see these here. Let me put them on the counter. One is an actual whisk. And this unit actually affords you the option to either get hot froth milk to about 150 degrees or cold milk. If you just want hot milk, all you do is literally just click the button and it will turn on red. And you can see the little unit spinning, and what that'll do is it'll heat it up to 150 degrees, and when it's done, it will be froth. Now this is blinking because it says, hey dude, there's no milk. That's fine. We'll shut that off. See if I can deactivate it here. Hey, it doesn't like that. There we go. To get the cold milk where it just froths cold, you press and hold and it turns to blue, and see, because it's blue, we don't have any heating action. You can see this little spindle swirling here, and that's what would actually make the lightly frothed milk. Woo! Now you can see it fly off there because there's no milk in there. That's actually pretty exciting. I've never actually tested this without milk inside. So one of the things is if you're doing a demo and goes totally haywire, you can always pick it up and unplug it. So I'm going to take this out here, and actually I can feel the warmth in there already because there's no milk. It doesn't want to overheat. And this is the electrical connector. And you flip this upside down and you can see that hooks in there. Anytime you want to wash this thing, like every time you make your drinks, you don't want to ever submerge this unit because it is electrical. Just rinse inside. That is Teflon coating, I think. So you don't want to scrape too hard. And it's got, let me put the camera in there, two different levels where you can measure out your minimum and your maximum amount of fluid or milk. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually do this. I'm going to put the frother in there to make that exciting with the milk. And now we'll come back to this guy. On this machine, this is where you actually put the pod. So this is a pretty slick system where you've got the tray and you've got the different concentrations of espresso or cappuccino levels. And each of these little red buttons means a different thing for each of the pods. For the pods, you can only put them in one way into the machine. You cannot put them the other way, so it's pretty hard to make a mistake on this thing. And before we get going, you'll see this armature. This is what cranks down and squashes the pod, and it locks in. And then you'll either do an espresso or a cappuccino latte sort of thing. But when you pull this up, the pod will drop in, and it's basically a little trash container where you can keep the expired pod. So you don't have to continuously exchange and swap them out. So it's actually a pretty slick setup. All right, so when you drop the pod in there and you lift this back up, the pod falls into what's called, I guess, I would call it the trash container. So what we'll do is we'll have Kelly actually pull this out here, and we'll show you that the pods are in there. So it's actually pretty slick. It holds about 10 pods. But here's a gotcha about this thing. So when she lifts that up, you can actually see a little bit of liquid coffee down there. So you want to be careful when you take this out of this unit. Don't tip it over, otherwise you're going to be pouring cold coffee over there. So I'm just trying to show you the few of the gotchas there. So you can put that back in, slide that there. And one neat thing too about all of these pods is they are actually recyclable. So that's always a good benefit for the environment. Now this unit can hold 2 different cup sizes. It's got a stainless steel small cup tray, and then you can flip that up and you've got a large cup tray, and if you need to go really crazy, you can actually take this off and somehow kind of jimmy rig up a really tall cup to make a very large cup of coffee, or not even really coffee, but a tall latte. So what we're going to do now is actually operate the machine. So first we're going to pour the milk inside, and we're going to have Kelly do that here, and I'll just show you where she fills it up to, and you can see the little frothing mechanism there. And what she does is for a single drink, she fills the milk until the little nub of the frother just sticks out. And so then once you put that up, she'll put this unit back on the main machine. All right, and it's ready to rock. Now you're going to want to put the lid on because it does froth quite a bit and it can spill a little bit of milk out, and you don't want to do that. Make sure to mush this on. Also, a word of note, if you use green scrubbies to clean your dishes, do not use a green scrubby on this thing. It will scratch it up, as you can see that I so intelligently did right there. And so literally you put this guy on here and then you press the go button and it turns red, indicating that heating is going. And you'll see in here that the unit has begun frothing. Now while we're doing that, hey, focus. While we're doing that, you'll now be able to actually generate your coffee. So what I'm going to do is have Kelly take out one of the pods, and she'll grab a cup, and whichever one she chooses. They come in different strengths. So you drop that pod there, you place your cup here. Now that's one thing about other reviews. People say, oh, it's pretty quiet. It's not that quiet. So if somebody's sleeping in your house and they think, oh, it's stealthy, it's not super loud, but it isn't a stealth machine at all. I would say it's a little bit louder in the Keurig. So we're going to fire that up. So she's going to crank the armature down. Boom, ready to rock. So whether you want a little espresso, or what's this guy called again?
Lungo.
The lungo size. My Italian's a little weak, sorry. There are different pods for it, specifically espresso or for the lungo. You can even buy a little refillable guy. I mean, it's pretty slick. So what she's going to do now is she's going to press one of the buttons and generate a drink. And you'll notice it doesn't pour out incredibly fast. That's one of the things about the different pods, is that it has different strengths, and that causes the speed of the fill to be pretty slow. But you'll notice it actually, even though it's just through coffee, generates a real nice froth on top of the drink. Now while this is going on, you can see that the red button has gone dark, and that means that even though it's shaking here, we can lift this up. Woo, yeah, check out that foam. Let me get out a spoon. All right, we're gonna get a spoon, and while this continues to make the coffee there, you actually have the froth milk. And you can actually see what it looks like. Starbucks, eat your heart out, yeah. So we're gonna finish watching this guy operate. And you can see it goes along. We'll be quiet for a moment. Boom, done. Now this drips out for a few moments, and this is based on the setting that we've already set. You can actually tune how much coffee or latte or whatever it is comes out of here by pushing and holding that. You want to check the instructions, because depending on the version of the machine, it might be a little bit different, but that's how you work this thing. So now you have your cup with, let's see, the mix in there, and now what do you'll bring out the cup. You'll bring this out, and what'll happen is the milk will pour out. Okay. Here, let me get on the other side there. Sorry. And then you pour on the foam. Okay. And then you can stir it up. You've got this beautiful foam on this drink. It's actually really, really good. So if you're a coffee lover that loves espresso and cappuccino and latte, it is pretty hard to beat. There you go. So some other gotchas that we've discovered. So one of the things you want to make sure to do is wash this out every time, because it is milk, and so you don't want to have milk sitting around there. And we just use a blue scrubby. Do not use a green scrubby in this thing, because it will scratch up the interior. And you want to wash both the little frother attachment and the interior. Be very careful. It is so easy to lose that little frother. And so now we've finished up with our espresso drink with a beautiful froth of milk foam on top and milk swirled in there. So you can take your spoon, you can swirl it up, mix it in, and then begin enjoying your drink. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do just a straight espresso, where we're using the single button, and we're going to toss another pod in there. And we'll show how that works. Okay, and then we'll crank down the handle. Boom. Press the button. And just like that, you have an espresso. And what we're going to do is we're going to also demonstrate just the milk. It's not the frother, but it's just the milk warmer. So we'll have Kelly take that over here. And she will drop that unit in there. It's the same sort of magnet deal. And we'll see if we can coordinate the camera and the milk. Yeah, there we go. Same sort of position with the milk. All right. We'll put the lid on there to prevent spraying milk all over the place. She will tap the button once, and we'll just start rolling this. So as you can see here, we've got a beautifully made espresso drink. I mean, not a lot, and you can see the espresso under the foam. So it's actually, this machine does a very good job of actually aerating that drink quite well. Now what we figured out is that this process takes roughly 2 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video right now, and then we'll come back as soon as it's done. And one of the nice things about this is that the aerator, at least, is completely silent. I mean, you just hear this subtle whirring sound, which you probably can't even hear on my lavalier microphone at all. But we're just going to watch that until it cuts out. And then we'll show you what you end up with just the heater. Ah, there we go. So it's finished up, but that didn't take too long. All right. So there's your espresso. And we'll show what this little spindle looks like. It doesn't create nearly an amount of foam, which is fine. That's a style that you want with this drink. Okay, so you get a little bit of foam, which you can, whoa, hey, the camera steamed up. Good and hot, there you go. And then if you want to scoop out a little bit more of that foam, you certainly can. And there you go, with the espresso with a little bit of milk foam on it, and you're ready to rock, whether you generate your large drink here, or your small drink. We'll put them together. Let me scoot this back. And this attachment here generated the foam here, and I'll get my hands in this milk business. So you can see the different level of foaming. It's quite surprising. This little whisk here generates a lot of foam. Just the heater spinner doesn't actually generate that much foam. So that gives you a couple of options depending on how you like your drinks. And again, I mean, it's real easy cleanup. You just pour the water in there, swirl it around, clean it out. One thing about this unit too is that every so often you need to descale it. And I ruined, what's the machine I ruined? The
Keurig.
Yeah, the Keurig, I actually ruined it because I used their specific descaling fluid, my mistake. So I just use vinegar to clean this guy up. So you can see the different types of drinks that you can make with this thing. A couple of gotchas about these different units is there are different capsules based on the CitiZ versus any of the other ones. So you have to make sure that you get the right size capsules. Now they come in these pretty cool little rails, and there are all sorts of different versions. Whether you get it from India or, let's see, was this guy Vitalgo Lungo? So this is a decaffeinated version. They've got lots of options. Whether you want Indonesia, they have an India one. It's rated at a 11, I believe, and boy, it's like eye-popping intense. You're going to be drinking crazy. So each one of these can be ordered. There will be links below. I'm going to put a link below to this machine and also to the different frother attachments. That way you can get whatever you want and get on there and really enjoy your drinks in the morning in the comfort of your home. I definitely love this thing. Super handy. Just remember, instead of the descaling solution, I just use white vinegar, and it does take quite a few cycles. I mean, I pour a lot of vinegar in it, just cycle it through to get that vinegar taste out. So you want to make sure to get that all cleaned out, and you want to keep this machine clean because eventually, depending on the water you use, it can actually calcify up quite a bit. I used purified water or bottled something. I don't just use it out of the tap because where I live, the water is actually pretty hard and it scales this thing up pretty quick. So it's, I wouldn't say easy to wreck your machine, but it's something you definitely want to keep on top of. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please like and comment on the video below. Hit the little arrow to the right of the video. Scroll down. You'll also find the links in that discussion as well to the CitiZ machine, the aero frother, the different pods, or the different capsules you can get, and the whisks you can get. Thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.